Gaming history is made up of a dozen or so critical titles that shape the way games have been developed and the way their stories are told. Doom, Zelda, Super Mario 64, Minecraft, all game changers in their own right, and just when the iron was hot, Valve's Half-Life entered the scene. But enough has been said about Half-Life and how influential it was. Today we're talking about the collection Expand, featuring a two-part sequel and two other games that set the pace for first-person action and adventure games. Releasing highly anticipated games in a bundle in the past and even today is generally unheard of, as bundles are often reserved for games in a series or low tier titles that are shorter and don't hold up in quality. Remaster collections are a popular use of this space, but nothing like what Valve had proposed. 3 new AAA titles in one box had never been done before. This brief excerpt from PCGamer.com features an interview with Robin Walker, a lead developer at Valve. He weighs in stating, "So in terms of Steam's history, to us the orange box represents the era in which distribution channels placed a huge amount of friction on what kind of games were made, how big they should be, and how much they were sold for." 2007 marked a year of tremendous growth for the gaming industry, with new IPs being developed such as BioShock, Portal, Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, The Witcher, backed by new powerful hardware. One source at Ars Technica mentioned that the video game industry set the pace over all others in 2007, with record-breaking sales, off-the-chart consumer demand, and innovation reaching from galactic exploration to guitar simulation. This was quoted from President Michael D. Gallagher of ESA. On average, an astonishing 9 games were sold every second of every day of the year. That might be a stretch, but I'll take your word for it, Mr. Gallagher. Amidst this golden era, Valve sat on a powder cake. 3 new innovative titles all reaching finalization. The Orange Box proved to be a collection of problem solving as its developers confronted the debacle of how to release 3 very different games to the hungry masses. Robin Walker continues on rockpapershotgun.com, stating, "In our prior history, we never shipped more than a single product at a time, and we never shipped multiple platforms simultaneously. With Valve struggling to decide which order to release these games in, Valve as a company had to, yes, think outside the box. Doing so brought the company together in a way the production of other titles hadn't, with developers coming together to put the final touches on this event as opposed to floating around between unfinished products, a strategy of Valve's prior workflow. The company pulled together to put the cherry on top of a very elaborate, multi-tiered, strawberry-glazed, chocolate-filled cake. But questions still arose as this project reached the end of development. Primarily, how would this cake get cut and who would get the biggest slice? What weighed critically on the scheme of disbursement is how 3 very different games will be advertised to the right demographics. What with Half-Life being a first-person shooter, Portal 2 being the revolutionary first-person comedic puzzler, and Team Fortress 2 being a slapstick shoot-'em-up. For starters, it confused the hell out of retailers, says Robin Walker, as there was a general assumption that one new box meant one new game, whereas multi-packs were reserved for bundles of old titles or bundles of low-quality ones. Today, if you told a publisher like EA you wanted to release 3 AAA titles, 5 games including Half-Life's parts, for the price of 1, Todd Howard and friends would laugh you out to the mountaintops. That said, innovation and progression often isn't made without scorn or failure. Valve is a company willing to take risks and always have been since its inception. Their orange box became the exception to every rule of video game development. That said, you couldn't help but subscribe to Valve's suite of games that made you feel as though its cross-pollination of design and story elements made for an expansive story across genres. This was made possible by a team of individuals brought together to achieve a vision using the same pool of resources, from sound effects to the notorious Source engine. Whenever I play Portal, I can't help but notice the sights and sounds that harken back to Half-Life. It often made me wonder, could Black Mesa and Aperture exist in the same universe? To this day, I don't understand why Valve hasn't opened up this door with either a 3rd installment of Portal or Half-Life. But the question now is, will we ever see anything like the orange box again? Well, likely not. As the industry has changed so much since its release, very few companies can catch lightning in a bottle twice, let alone a 3rd time for Valve. Support for developers with original IP still exists. It just has a different face now, one that's more conducive with marketing strategies of today's industry. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if you play the orange box when it released. Which game did you enjoy the most? Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more gaming content. Thanks again for watching. Well, as a side message, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys who stuck around. I'm going to start making videos again and spend the whole summer making videos after my college courses. So I'm going to stick with what I do best, making videos that I love to make for people that want to see them. If you guys like this format of video, kind of a short expository on subjects regarding gaming, let me know in the comments below what you want to see more of. I have a few things up my sleeve. I won't reveal them now, but you guys get the idea. Thanks again for watching, and Godspeed your return.